U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen met with her Chinese counterpart today in Switzerland.
The pair discussed ways to manage their differences, especially when it comes to trade and technology, major issues. Both agreed the two nations need to work together to maintain stability and not allow poor communication to worsen relations. Meanwhile, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres addressed the growing rift within American-Chinese relations today at the World Economic Forum.
We risk what I've called a great fracture, the decoupling of the world's two largest economies. A tectonic rift that would create two different sets of trade rules, two dominant currencies, two internets, and two conflicting strategies on artificial intelligence. This is the last thing we need.
Let's bring in now Amy Celico. She's a principal with foreign policy firm, the Albright Stonebridge Group. She's also served as Senior Director for China Affairs at the Office of the U.S. Trade Representative. Amy, great to have you here. So both China and the U.S. have challenges that they face that are impacting economic and trade relations. Tell us about that and how it's putting the two nations at odds and what we saw happening in Davos to try and bring those two sides together.
Well, it's great to be with you. I think the fundamental issue here is that despite likely having a record year of trade between the U.S. and China, there are views in Washington, D.C. and in Beijing that this interdependence makes the countries vulnerable to one another. The U.S., and including Secretary Yellen, continues to accuse China of unfair, non-economic trade practices. And Beijing accuses the United States of continuing to limit China's ability to integrate into the global system. So this meeting that happened today between Secretary Yellen and China's top economic advisor, Liu He, was very important for them to speak to one another directly about addressing these fundamental disagreements in a very critically important trade relationship. So we just heard from the UN Secretary General, the world is watching the two largest economies and saying you must manage your disagreements, many of them political, because they're economic as well as geopolitical consequences.
That's right. The Secretary General, as we just heard, using words like a tectonic rift, and these economies need to decouple effectively, because there's also the argument over intellectual property. Can American companies based in China hang on to all their know-how and still profit? There's also the U.S. debt ceiling, which we're facing exceeding this week, tomorrow, in fact. China's the second largest foreign holder of U.S. debt as well. How does that play into all of this? And in some ways, does it make them more, I don't know, inclined to do well because they're so intertwined, or not?
Well, I think that the debt ceiling discussion is a distraction for those focused on the U.S.-China economic relationship. What we need is stability, and so not having that distraction of this looming crisis over the U.S. paying its debt globally, especially when China is the second largest holder of that debt, is an issue. It's an issue for the world. It's an issue for the United States to maintain our standard of being a safe place for investment. But on the U.S.-China relationship, they have fundamental political and economic issues that are undermining this incredibly important interdependence. As you just suggested, one of the issues is a lack of trust in one another, and that is why this direct engagement between Secretary Yellen and Liu He, between Secretary Blinken, who is going to Beijing in a few weeks to meet with his counterpart in Beijing, is so incredibly important in 2023. The world is looking to the U.S. and China to manage an increasingly competitive relationship responsibly so that it doesn't veer into conflict.
Yeah, the world really looking for this stability and confidence so we can keep chugging along. Amy Celico, great to have your insight on this. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.